Hi friends! Have you ever been so upset with someone that you stopped talking to them completely? Well, that's exactly what happens in today's story. Welcome to Uncle DJ's Bedtime Stories. So what do we do on Uncle DJ's Bedtime Stories? Well, I'm going to tell you a story, and then at the end of it, we're going to play a game. Make sure you listen to the whole story, otherwise you can't play the game. So, my name is Uncle DJ, and this is Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty? Mr. Kitty! Mr. Kitty's down here. Here's Mr. Kitty. Okay, maybe it's not Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty is still not here, but this is a close second. So this is what you get for today for Mr. Kitty. Today's story is called This Happened When Hayden and Jade Stopped Talking to Each Other. Are you ready for today's story? Let's go. Our story today is about a boy and a girl. And we're just gonna let's just call the boy Hayden. Hayden. You're calling the boy. Yeah, is that okay? That's a very specific name. That's all I'm saying. And Hayden has a sister. And let's just call her Jade. Jade. You call Hayden and Jade. Okay, like that does not, yeah, like that's not familiar at all. Okay, stop it. Let's just continue, right? Stop it. So Hayden and Jade are just like any other brother and sister. They get along sometimes they don't get along, but of course, they love each other, right? Hayden just went too far because according to Jade, what Hayden did was so terrible, she is not even talking to him. Though, yet she can't quite remember what Hayden did. And so, and the same with Hayden. Hayden is so upset with Jade that he is not talking to her either. Do you know what Jade did? It was so bad. It's so bad. This is what Jade did. It was so bad. It was, nope. Hayden can't remember what she did either. So here they are trying to live in their house with mom and dad, with Hayden and Jade not speaking to each other. And so it was not a happy home during that time. Happy, happy home. Now, even though Hayden and Jade are upset with each other and they're not talking with each other, secretly, they both miss talking to each other. Of course, because they love each other. They miss hanging out, doing things together, but either one of them doesn't want to admit fault first. Why do people do that? They miss the person, but they don't want to say anything. I don't know why we do that. We do that, don't we, sometimes? Yeah, I get it. And so they just continue day by day not talking with each other. Now this argument has been going on for almost 2.5 weeks, and it's all that Hayden and Jade can do just to be cordial with each other. And that is our word of the day, cordial. It's spelled C-O-R-D-I-A-L. Now, it looks like we want to say it cordial, but it's pronounced cordial. Think of an apple core and your hair gel. Core gel. Cordial. Can you say cordial? Great. So what does it mean to be cordial? To be cordial means to be friendly, polite, pleasant, and sincere. Let's use it in a sentence. After Billy met Mr. Sweatpants, Billy is now cordial to every passenger on the train. Cordial. Use it in a sentence today. The word of the day has been brought to you by Uncle DJ's Bedtime Stories. Please use the English language responsibly. Now this argument has been going on for almost 2.5 weeks, and it's all that Hayden and Jade can do just to be cordial with each other. But they're managing, barely. Now Hayden and Jade like to make money. So they're always asking what kind of extra odd jobs they can do to make money. And so today, Mom just heard that Ms. Cecile, who lives down the road, is looking for someone to help her move some things because she's going to downsize. So Hayden made a phone call right away, and he called Miss Cecile to set this up to see if he could be the worker to help her move some things. And she said yes. And so he was really excited. And so the day came for him to help her move, and so he got up extra early. I don't even want to see Jade this morning. He got up extra early, ate breakfast, told Mom where he was going, and he's out the door. He didn't even see Jade around. So he's walking down the street, and he's whistling a tune, and he is just really excited. He's going to have a great day today. He's going to get some moving done. He's going to make some money. Everything is good. He walks up the steps, and he rings the doorbell, and guess who opens the door? Yup, you got it. Jade answers the door. What are you doing here? What do you mean, what am I doing here? What are you doing here? This is my job. I got this job. Get out of here. I called, and Miss Cecile gave me the job, so I have no idea why you're here. We'll see you later. Bye. So here comes Miss Cecile, and she says, I need 2 people to help me move. I have furniture, and so I need people who are going to be able to cooperate. So if you 2 can't work together, I guess I'll just have to get somebody else. Both of them quickly changed their mind and said, no, we can do this. We're good. All right. So they start moving some things. So they start moving some things for Miss Cecile. They move end tables, they're moving couches, they're moving coffee tables, and they need each other, each one to pick up one end. Upstairs in the library was a big bookshelf. This thing was oak, and it was heavy. And so they both got on either end of this bookshelf, and they lift it. But instead of tipping it over on its side, they decided to lift it straight up and down. They both got on an end, and they pick this thing up, and they start walking. But Jade missteps as she's walking backwards, and she trips. She drops her end, and she falls down on the floor. And all she can see is this bookshelf coming over, and it's going to land on. A few falling bookshelf moments later. And at that moment, Miss Cecile was downstairs, and she heard a thump. Yeah, just like that. And she goes running upstairs, and she runs into the library, and she sees the bookshelf is standing upright. It had not fallen over. Jade was on the floor because she did trip, but Hayden managed to hold the bookshelf upright so it did not fall on her. And Mrs. Cecile says, what was that noise? And they said, we don't know what that noise was either, but it was loud. So they all look out the library window. And you know who Miss Cecile lived next door to? Yeah, you got it. Miss Cecile lives next door to Muse Mansion. That noise must have come out of there. I knew it. A loud noise coming out of Muse Mansion. I'm telling you, something's going on over there. I know, right? I want to know what's going on. Are we going to know? Yeah, well, I hope we find out one day what's going on in that house. Yeah, I hope so too. Maybe in another story. Miss Cecile said, since you 2 are okay, I'll just continue on packing things downstairs. So Hayden and Jade continue to help move her things. And before you know it, now it's lunchtime. And so Miss Cecile called them for lunch. And while she was preparing, Hayden and Jade were at the table. And Jade says to Hayden, I want to thank you for saving me from that bookshelf falling on top of me. That could have really hurt me. And Hayden said, you're welcome. And then Jade says, I'm sorry for my part on how I have acted over the past 2.5 weeks. And I just want to say, I'm sorry. And can you forgive me? And can we be friends again? And Hayden said, of course. Of course I forgive you. You know, I've really missed hanging out with you too I'm sorry. Can you forgive me for my part in being upset with you?" And she said, "Of course I can." So the two smiled and hugged, and they both feel so much better. And they're just so happy that they're right with each other. And they had such a good time with Miss Cecile, listening to her stories, her telling them of the stories where she grew up in Calgary in an area called West Dover. One of the funny things about Miss Cecile when she tells a story is every once in a while she'll just throw in some random words. She'll be talking and she'll just say, "Ticket taker," or "King wants a cracker." It's really interesting. They don't know why she does that, but they think it's really funny. After lunch was over, there really wasn't much more to do after that. They moved a few more things, and next thing you know, they're done. So Ms. Cecile paid them, and they went home together, laughing and joking, and they went in the house, and they apologized to Mom and Dad as well. Hayden and Jade said, "When we had to work together, we remembered how much we missed spending time together. And we also want to apologize to you guys for how we've been acting for the past 2.5 weeks. So we want to say we're sorry." From that day forward, Hayden and Jade realized just how much their friendship meant to each other. And I don't think they ever had a disagreement that bad ever since that day. So how is it with you, friends? Have you ever been so upset with someone that you stopped talking to them? Or is there somebody right now that you're not talking to because you're so upset with them? Sometimes it's hard to make that first step toward that person. So if that's you, I'd like to encourage you. Make that step. You'll be really glad you did. Mr. Kitty thinks so too. All right, and that is the end of the story. That's the end of the story? That's the end of the story. Now you know what time it is, right? It's time for the recap mishap. What happens in the recap mishap? Let me tell you what happens in the recap mishap. I'm going to retell the story. I'm going to recap the story. And when I do, I'm going to make 5 mistakes. How many mistakes am I going to make? That's right, 5 mistakes. Let's go. In today's story, we met a brother and a sister, Hayden and Lindsay. And they are not talking with each other. Like they are just, one of them did something, they can't even remember what the other person did to upset them. But they have been arguing for 3.5 weeks now. And it's just, upsetting the house. It's upsetting Mom and Dad, but but Mom and Dad are just letting them work it out for themselves. Hayden and Jade can figure all that out. Hayden and Jade look for small jobs to do where they can make some extra money. Turns out Miss Cecile, who lives just down the road, needs some help moving some furniture. So she hired them to move furniture. Hayden's all excited because he thinks he got the job. When he shows up, Jade's already there. It's like, "What are you doing here?" "I got the job. I called first." Apparently not. And so they both had to cooperate. And because they did have to cooperate, they got over their differences and they were able to make up with each other. Especially when they were carrying a big bookcase that was really heavy because it was made out of press board. And Jade slipped as she's walking backward, and the bookshelf started to fall over on her, but Hayden managed to hold it so it didn't fall on her and crush her. And then there was a noise again from, Muse Mansion, right? We have got to find out what's going on in that place. So it turned out to be a great day. Hayden and Jade had settled their differences. They were happy again. And then they had lunch with Miss Cecile, who's really funny too. She told them some funny stories about her growing up in Calgary, in Dover area. And every once in a while, Miss Cecile says funny things like "ticket taker" or Polly wants a cracker. And they just really cracked up at this. And then, before they knew it, they were all done moving. She paid them. They went home. Everybody's happy. Yay! And so that's it. And so that is the end of the recap mishap. Did you catch the 5 mistakes? I made 5 mistakes. Good luck in finding them. Thanks again for watching Uncle DJ's Bedtime Stories. And tonight, I would like to say goodnight to Owen, Daryl, Allie, and Winnie. Good night. Thank you so much for watching. Uncle really appreciates all the views, all the likes, telling your friends about Uncle DJ's Bedtime Stories, and sharing this video with your friends, and telling your friends about the channel. Hi friends, have you ever been so upset? Yeah, exactly. Today's story is called, what is today's story called? Today's story, we're calling it, yeah, Hayden and Jade realized just how much, subscribe and like and subscribe and share it with your friends. All right. Yeah, you know what? We can just forget all that. Okay.